Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said the country's recent strikes on U.S. bases in the Middle East are a legal act of self-defense. In an interview, Araghchi described the conflict as imposed by the United States and Israel, calling it unprovoked, unwarranted, and illegal. He added that Iran did not choose this war and clarified that Iran's missiles cannot reach U.S. soil. Therefore, their operations are limited to American bases and installations in neighboring countries. Araghchi also pushed back against comments from U.S. President Donald Trump, saying the president should apologize for the conflict. On domestic matters, he stressed that Iran's assembly of experts will elect the country's next supreme leader and that this process is entirely internal. He added that it is up to the Iranian people to choose their next leader, stressing that neither Donald Trump nor any foreign power would have a say in the country's political decisions. And now joining us live is Ariel Whitman, op-ed editor at Israel's financial newspaper Globes and host of the Western Spirit podcast. She's joining us live from Tel Aviv. Sir, in your opinion, there's already been extreme unrest in Iran. Will the Iranian people, if all of this doesn't culminate in the essential overthrow of the government, need even more assistance from the U.S.? To what extent do you see this war unfolding to the point where the entire government of Iran is ruled out and essentially dead? Please.
That's the million-dollar question. We don't know. We don't know. I can't say what the Israeli military people have been telling me and leaking all over the international media is that Israel has, quote-unquote, a lot of surprises up its sleeve in the next few days. I don't know what that means because no one knows what that means. We also don't know. We still hear reports of people, IRGC and Basij members on the streets. So it's still very difficult for people to go out in the streets to protest, even peacefully, because they'll pretty much get shot and killed. So we're waiting to see what exactly Israel and the U.S. will do. They've been in the past few days bombing certain Basij areas, installations which they didn't do in the first days of the campaign. We don't know. That's the million-dollar question. And that is also the reason why we've been hearing reports of the Kurdish separatists trying to, maybe with American and Israeli support, go into Iran to try to divert forces. One soldier can't be two places at the same time, which is why if the Kurds come in from a certain area, you have to divest resources, and that can allow maybe some of the protesters to come back into the streets because there won't be anyone to take them out. But, you know, it remains to be seen. The campaign still is going strong. We have, I think today, more than 500 targets just by the Israeli Defense Forces that were bombed today. The Americans, I think yesterday, said about 200 plus targets. So there's a lot more to hit, and the Iranians pretty much are, in terms of their capacity to defend themselves, are pretty much destroyed. Their air defense system is almost entirely gone at this point. Their planes have been shot down from the air. By the way, this is the first time an F-35 has shot down a plane in its history, so we've made history on that point. And their navy is gone. Not pretty much, it's gone. And so they have no defense. Their only weapon of defense is to shoot at America's allies and hope that they'll pressure the U.S. to slow down. I don't see that working. You have reports of the UAE now striking at Iran today. They've denied it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do it, even if it wasn't them today. Qatar has been threatening to attack Iran in response. The Saudis are very angry and asking Trump to hit back harder on Iran. So the strategy of hitting America's allies in order to get them to pressure America to stop seems to be backfiring. And at this point, the only thing that probably will stop the campaign short is if internal pressure in the U.S. will stop President Trump. But as of now, that doesn't seem to be happening.
You mentioned internal pressure there. Yes, last week there was a Texas shooting. There was a man wearing a Iranian t-shirt who essentially shot people in a bar. Yeah, exactly. Have there been other instances which I've not been privy to hearing about? What do you believe can go wrong in the United States?
Well, we've heard that the FBI is on heightened alert. We've heard that there is intelligence of things that might be in the works. As of now, we haven't heard of anything else. The danger, I think, more than inside the U.S. is that American embassies all over the world. Iran has proxies. Hezbollah has a history of attacking American embassies all over the world, actually, in the past. So I wouldn't put it past them. That's where the U.S. should be worried, and they are. They're definitely, pulling down the resources in certain areas. And stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if some embassies are targeted, not just in the Arab world. We saw that in some of the Gulf states right away, that the American consulate in Kuwait and some other places were targeted. Thank God most of the people have not been there. So it's just been material that was destroyed or injured, hurt, but not people. So that's great. Here in Israel, by the way, we've been actually getting, I think, only about a quarter of all of the missiles shot by Iran. So if you think about it, the Iranians have been shooting missiles, most of their ballistic missiles and short range for sure, at their neighbors who aren't fighting with them at this point. We have been getting a lot less than the 12-day war percentage-wise in 2025. So I think that means that they are sure that by hitting Israel, they won't get the U.S. or Israel to stop. Therefore, it's not that worth it. So they're using their resources to try to pressure the Arab states and American interests in the hope that that'll get people riled up inside the U.S., in the Arab world. So far, it doesn't look like it's working. And I'll just tell you about my experience. I'm now in Israel. We had a missile fell about a kilometer away from where I am right now. 3-4 people were injured, 1 critical. It's pretty amazing that we've been getting for a week and I think 3 days at this point, missiles every day. We haven't been sleeping, but not a lot of people have been either injured or killed, thank God. And the spirits, when you look at the polls in Israel, 94% of Jews in Israel, Israeli citizens that are Jewish, support this, and about 40% of Arab Israeli citizens, which is a very large number for Arab citizens who are mostly Muslim, to support the campaign against Iran. So the citizenry here is not like Netanyahu supporters that are for this and the opposition that are against it. It's pretty much all across the board except for the very fringe elements. So you have a united front here, and the more missiles are getting in, I think the more united people are that the threat is real and has to be dealt with. So in terms of public opinion here, I don't think the missiles are doing the way that the Iranians might have wanted it.
Please stay safe, please stay alert, and we'll be right back with you shortly.
Thank you.
Next up, we have some breaking news coming in. U.S. President Donald Trump